Good afternoon. This is Damian Frazee, student in Communications 1010, and this is my demonstration video on how to properly handle pot sucré. Probably one of the first things you're asking yourself now is, what the heck is pot sucré? Pot sucré, literally translated, is sweet or sugar paste. In the pastry world, we use this product as a sweet liner dough. We use it to line tart shells, pies, and various types of pastry products as a crust. Today we're going to be using small 3-inch tart shells. This is what I'm going to use to demonstrate the techniques in how to roll and handle pot sucré. One of the very important things you want to understand about pot sucré is that it must be worked with cold. This dough is very high in fat, very high in sugar, and if you allow the dough to get warm, it's going to be very difficult to work with. I have a piece of cold prepared pot sucré. I'm only producing 2 tart shells, so I'm going to cut what I don't need off and return it to the refrigerator. Next, I'm going to take this product and knead it in my hands. I want to get this plastic, but I don't want to warm the product up. I want to produce what is a little bit of a hockey puck shape, about 1 inch thick, in a hockey puck shape. Before we begin our rolling, I want to use bread flour on my table. This type of flour is very high in protein, low in starch, so it makes it a very excellent product to keep your dough, whether it's yeast dough, pie dough, or indeed pot sucré, from sticking on your table. What we want to do now is take our rolling pin and roll the dough out. Notice that I'm rolling the dough in a little different direction every single time I touch it. This makes sure that the dough is rolled out even and that we have and promote even baking once the shells go into the oven. I want to stop ever so briefly, check the thickness. This is looking pretty good. I want to roll the dough up onto the rolling pin, move my tart shells into place, lift slightly, and put the dough over the tart shells. I now want to relax the dough into the shell. I want to limit my stretching. I don't want the dough to shrink back when it bakes, so I want to allow the dough to relax into the shell. We're then ready to cut the excess off. This now old dough will get blended into my next rolling of fresh dough so that I never have any old dough. Next step in the process is to just go around the tart shell and make sure that we fill in and we have a nice even layer of dough on the tart shell. We now want to line each of these tart shells with parchment paper, and then we're going to fill the voids of the tart shell with either beans or rice. I happen to be using rice. This holds this pot sucré in place as it bakes. Press it down a little bit, get it into a 350 oven. I want to bake this about 3/4 of the way. I should see browning on the edge. At that point, I'm going to open the oven, remove the rice and the paper, put it back in the oven, and continue baking until the pot sucré is done. Once the pot sucré has cooled, I'm going to brush the inside with chocolate, load the tart shell with pastry cream, and then glaze it, put fruit on it, and then glaze it with apricot glaze. Pot sucré has many other uses. It's very good for all styles of cream pies, pumpkin pies, and pecan pies. It provides a nice little crisp crust, really nice texturally, and a little bit of added sweetness. By way of finishing this demonstration, I will show you a prepared raspberry fruit tart, again with the pot sucré base, loaded with pastry cream, fresh fruit on top, glazed with apricot glaze, and then finished with toasted nuts. I thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and I hope you have a pleasant afternoon.